no!
Welcome to another episode of the Active Center, constructed by David Seppi.
Welcome.
Hello.
You sent over the 2025 U.S. Economic Performance Report and the 2026 Strategic Outlook that everyone's been talking about.
Right. It's a really complex document, and, it's politically charged, but it's fundamentally claiming victory over inflation.
Exactly. So our mission today is to dive into those claims. Specifically, how did the administration supposedly pull off this fabled soft landing? I mean, stabilizing prices without crashing the economy was something nearly every economist said wasn't possible.
And that's what really stands out to me, the assertion that they navigated that trade-off. Historically, you kill inflation, you slow the economy.
You raise rates, you cause pain.
Right. But this report claims success through supply-side measures, so robust growth and stable inflation at the same time.
Okay, let's unpack that 2025 scorecard then. Starting with growth, real GDP accelerated to 4.3% in the third quarter. That's a pretty strong jump from 3.8% in Q2.
And the report says that's largely driven by two things: aggressive consumer spending and a big surge in exports.
And this is where the policy mix gets truly fascinating. On the price front, they're claiming core inflation.
Right, and remember, that's the one that excludes the volatile stuff, like food and energy.
Exactly. It apparently hit its lowest point in almost 5 years by December. The final quarter was trending toward 1.2%.
Which is squarely inside the Fed's target range. I mean, that low of a core inflation number with that kind of consumer strength it's remarkable.
That stability seems directly tied to these shock absorbers the administration put in place. The main one being the Unleashing American Energy initiative.
Yes. Domestic oil production is now approaching 14 million barrels a day. It drove the benchmark WTI price below $60 a barrel.
So the takeaway for you is pretty tangible.
Oh, absolutely. That energy boom meant gasoline prices dropped below $3 a gallon in 36 states. That's a massive injection of stunning power right back into people's pocket.
Which directly fueled that consumer spending we talked about.
Precisely. That's what pushed GDP up to 4.3%.
So the energy side gave them that quick relief. Now let's talk about the structural changes the report credits. The controversial tariff strategy.
They argue that those tariffs, particularly on steel and aluminum, generated a really significant onshoring effect.
What does that mean in terms of jobs?
Well, this strategy is credited with adding 250,000 manufacturing jobs in 2025, and they also point to the trade deficit narrowing by 15%.
15%. That's the largest improvement in a decade.
It's a huge number.
But it sounds like a clear win, but the price trends in the report are a lot more nuanced, right?
They are. While you saw price stability and even declines for staples produced here, like eggs, dairy, fruits, some key imports, saw noticeable price spikes.
Like coffee and beef.
Coffee and beef, exactly. And this is the critical trade-off that the 2026 outlook really tries to address.
Because while manufacturing boomed, the report does admit there were job losses elsewhere. Tech, white-collar services, large-scale retail.
Right. It acknowledges that the 250,000 manufacturing jobs came with significant displacement in other sectors.
So it's more of a sectoral shift, not pure net job growth.
Exactly. And the report stresses Trump's immediate need for strategic retraining programs to transition those displaced workers into the new high-demand industrial and energy roles.
Which brings us to the foundation of their 2026 roadmap, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or OBBA.
Right. This act proposes making the 2017 tax rates permanent, but it also adds some new, very populist-style deductions.
Deductions for tips, for overtime pay, and even for interest on car loans for U.S.-assembled cars.
And this is where the policy pivot gets really sharp. OBBA also sets up these new tax-deferred Trump accounts.
Sort of like specialized IRAs for small business formation and industrial investment.
That's a good way to put it. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, the report is calling for a sharp ideological break from the previous spending structure.
Meaning a total phase-out of the Biden-Harris green energy subsidies.
Total phase-out. And implementing stricter work requirements for federal assistance. The focus is moving completely from climate-centric spending to industrial supply-side deregulation.
So what does this all mean for you? The report concludes that the era of rampant inflation is definitively over. The focus for 2026 is shifting. dramatically.
It is. It's shifting toward managing this industrial job transition and executing pretty extensive regulatory reform to, lock in those supply side gains.
And that shift raises a final provocative thought for you to think about.
Yes. The 2026 strategy mentions using dynamic tariff holidays for essential goods like that beef and coffee we talked about, the things that lack immediate domestic substitutes.
So temporary tariff relief to manage prices.
Right. But if the administration's long-term goal is complete trade balance improvement, how effectively can these temporary fluctuating adjustments manage specific price pain points? Do they risk slowing down the core goal of domestic substitution?
And what unintended consequences might pop up from making trade policy on staple goods so unpredictable?
Program is The Active Center. It's created by David Sappe.
Pronounced Seppi.
Pronounced Seppi.